Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. Thank God I'm not a lawyer. Thank God this is not a law firm. We don't advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate that you made them in private, take care of them in private. All right, and today, what I'm going to teach you, ladies and gentlemen, is the basic elementary of Title 4D. All right. You can beat these people in so many different ways. The reason why you are failing is because you are not using the 4D counter technique. Okay? Title 4D is what? It's a statute composed of words. Okay? Take away the words, what do you got? Nothing. All right? So when you define these words and you know what they mean, it is so easy to go back, go in here and either stop them or beat them. All right. So Title 4D of the Act, all these wonderful numbers here, can be found in 42 U.S.C. 651. That's what Title 4D of the Social Security Act is. It is a very short paragraph. Okay. And basically it has a purpose. Its purpose right here is creation by renaming, succession, and identity. Okay. Number two, then by that identity, it locates non-custodial pay rents to enforce obligations owed by it. All right. In return for what? 658A payments. All right. That's incentive funds. And if you have not read the federal manual, page 54, it tells you that the states make a profit from the 4D program. And if you go to their website, they profit from customers. All right. The 4D agency is a partnership, a federal and state partnership. A partnership is an association of two or more persons as co-owners of a business for profit. That's all Title 4D is. It is a private business for profit. Okay. Now, this being the purpose of Title 4D, we're going to prove it by their own information. Okay. Now check this out. These are the 4D policy requirements. And yes, 4D does use policy. All right. And if they use policy, all right, and custom, you can go in and sue them under Monell. Okay. Monell versus the State of New York Department of Human or Social Services, something like that. All right. It was all for policy, customs and policy violated their rights. Okay. Just throwing that out there for you. All right, so 4D policy requires what? Renaming. All right, and this is done by expressio unius persons est exclusio alterius, when certain persons or things, which are non-custodial pay rents, are specified in a law or contract, and intention to exclude all others, Genesis 1 and 26 men, from its operation is inferred. Okay, now, gentlemen, this works both ways. In Title 4D, it only mentions non-custodial pay rents. In the Constitution, it only mentions Genesis 1 and 26 men. Look at the preamble. It says, we, the people of the state, are, thankful to Almighty God for our freedom. All right. They swear their oath on that Bible. So help them God. And in Genesis 1 and 26, God created man. Let us create man in our image and in our likeness. Okay. So that excludes the non-custodial pay rent, which means it has no rights. This is why they have to rename. All right. The second one is succession. Succession is the de-evolution of your title of Genesis 1 and 26 man to the status of property under the law of descent and distribution. Gentlemen, property has no rights. Do you understand that? You comprehend it? It has no rights. It is owned. And three, identity. 20 CFR 422-103D identity. The sameness in law of evidence that the fact that a subject or thing before the contracted 4D court is the same as it is represented, claimed, or charged to be. Why? Okay. As a man, you have rights. As a non-custodial pay rent, it has no rights. It is an ens legis. It is a creature of law. It was created for the Title 4D purposes. Go back and look at it. There was no such thing as a non-custodial pay rent back in before 1975. Okay. when they rolled out the 4D program, they also rolled out the creation of the non-custodial pay rent. You just don't realize that you've gotten suckered. Now, check it out. You will only see, and you can prove this, again, gentlemen, you're not reinventing the wheel. All right, glossary of common child support terms, the language that they use. These are words of art. An alleged father is a man named as the father. All right, remember number one is what? Renaming. All right, look, man named as the father. All right, who has not been legally determined the father. Okay, legally determined means he didn't sign a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity. All right, legal father is a man who is what? Recognized by law as the male parent of the child, which in 99.9% of the time is going to be the what? Non-custodial pay rent. Okay? So, by their own definitions, they have to rename you. They have to succeed you. All right? And then they have to, they succeed you to this identification. Property. You can't be property. You can't be referred to as property. That's what the 13th Amendment is for. Okay? All governments derive their just power from the consent of the governed. You have to what? You have to consent to become a father. As a matter of fact, what is a father? As used in law, this term is according to the context is in the nature of an instrument. What is an instrument? An instrument is a contract. And herein, that's a personal responsibility contract or the paternity contract, which is voluntary. They are slick. All right. You don't have to reinvent this. All you have to do, remember, the burden of proof rests on he who asserts, not he who denies. All right. So if you're asserting that you are not a non-custodial pay rent, you never consented to succeed. And there's also a thing called successio. Successio means coming in place of. So anytime you go to a 4D hearing or you respond improperly, you're coming in place of the non-custodial pay rent, right? Which is the property of the Social Security Administration. It has no rights. That's why if you go in there talking anything, they'll tell you, we're not here for that. Sound familiar, fellas? We ain't here for that. Okay. You go in there and you beat them. First and foremost, you shouldn't be going in there. You shouldn't be getting mail from them. All right? You're going to learn the hard way. So basically, now, this is what a child support order is. The term child support order and a 42 U.S.C. The term child support. All right, child support order and child support are both defined as a judgment, decree, or order subject to modification issued by a court or administrative agency of competent jurisdiction, including 651 related costs. 651 is what? Title 4D of the Act. Fees, interest, penalties, income withholding, attorney's fees, and other relief. Fun part. Again, the Federal Glossary of Common Child Support Terms, page 16, defines competent jurisdiction as the legal authority that a contracted court or or the 4D agency has over what? Title 4D persons, which are what? Non-custodial pay rents, who are subject in what? Title 4D cases. Okay? You have to read their statutes. All right, gentlemen, I've given you something to ponder on. If you want to learn more about this, you can join my 4D guerrilla warfare class. All right, it's a 2-hour class. All right, I'm teaching you Title 4D, the Social Security Act, which is 42 U.S.C. 651. I'm going to teach you of the Title 45 Code of Federal Regulations. All right, I'm going to give you a library, Black's Law's Dictionary. You're going to get the federal manual. All right, get the federal glossary. You get the judge's handbook, which is very, very useful. I'm going to go over, I'll do a video on that one day, and the Essential for Attorneys, which is also a very powerful document. These two documents will show you how they are getting over on you. Well, I just showed you how they're getting over on you. If you just want to enhance it a little bit. All right. The donation for this class is $125. Cash App is scrolling across the stream, Destroyer 4D, and you can register at hathornsec@gmail.com. Gentlemen, you have your assignments. Now, let me show you why this is important. Okay. Okay. Now, what you're seeing here, this is a dismissal. One of our people was having some trouble down there in Iowa, and they were trying to get him to come in there and to voluntarily acknowledge paternity. And what they did, they made it sound like he had to come and do it. And he contacted us, and we created a weapon for him. I cannot show you the weapon. All right, but a week later, this is what he got. This was actually back in October. I just haven't gotten around to blacking it out yet because I don't want to put anybody's personal information on there. All right, but basically, this is it says comes now. Sorry, it's a little blurry. All right, it says comes now. Support services according to Iowa, and this was Iowa Code Chapter 265, I think it is, and dismiss without prejudice the administrative paternity action in the above incorporated matter as to the following reasons. All right. So in other words, they wanted him to come in and voluntarily acknowledge paternity. And what we did was we took the information that I just showed you and we applied that information. Okay. And 1 week later, he got a dismissal. It's all right, man, leave it alone. All right. We broke it down real simple. It was not complicated. All right. So that being said, when you take their information and use it against them, gentlemen, that's all we're teaching you. If you ain't learning it here, you are not learning it. If you are not using it, you are wasting your time. All right. This is basic elementary. All right. All right. So anytime you want to schedule that class, just hit me up, gentlemen. All right. We are here to help you. I want you to win. All right. We want you to win. We have to continue beating these people. And gentlemen, we are beating them. People are winning out here. All right. My people in Iowa, they won. Didn't even have to go in there. Didn't bust a grape. All right. You can win. All right. You got your assignment. You got our information, gentlemen. Nice to see you. I got some more information coming up. All right. Like and subscribe. Okay. And let's get on this program. Hotep.